What the fuck is going on in the world today? Well, Battlefield 5 is courting more controversy. A new Street Fighter 5 character has been revealed. Rumor, the next Microsoft Xbox console in 2020. Also, Aquaman the movie is actually doing really well. And in a first, transgender woman competes in Miss Universe competition. All this and more on today's Johnny Massacre show. How's it going, people? It's about 11:15 in Tokyo, Japan. Let's get to it. Battlefield 5, no stranger to controversy, is now courting more controversy. According to GameSpot, Battlefield 5 backtracks on controversial time to kill changes. What could this mean? Well, have a look at my screen. DICE says making Battlefield enjoyable for newcomers is an issue that it has yet to find a lasting solution to. I have a solution. Don't wipe the asses of the people who play your fucking game. Just make it nails, make it well balanced, and make it professional. You can't straddle all these fucking metaphorical horses at the same time. You can't make your game easy for newcomers and enjoyable for pros and make it conquer esports. Battlefield 5 became famous because it wasn't like Call of Duty. It didn't wipe the asses of its players. It was unforgiving and competitive. Much in the same vein as Halo. Halo was awesome because it was ultra competitive. It attracted those kinds of players. And don't worry, developer, being competitive is something that will never go out of style. Why do people like sport? Because there's no fucking handicap. It's the best of the best going at it. And that means when you kill someone, it's even more satisfying because you know you did it on merit, not because of some bullshit handicap. I remember playing a Mario Kart game around my brother's house one particular Christmas. And when you were in last place, you got all these power-ups. I don't want to play that fucking game. I was raping everyone and I get punished for being good. Fuck that. So Battlefield and DICE, there's a lot of confusion going on right now. The article continues. The latest chapter of Battlefield 5 drama has unfolded. DICE has announced that it's backtracking on the controversial changes it made to the multiplayer shooter's time to kill values that made the game more forgiving for new players and angered veteran players in the process. DICE reiterated that its aim with the changes was to make the game more enjoyable for new players. Veteran Battlefield fans took issue with this, and in response, DICE released a core playlist for... Look, okay, they've already fucked it. If they've put this in the game, that means they've lost touch with the fan base already. You'd never do that if you really knew about the spirit and soul of the game. So this is just the latest in a long line of fuck-ups by DICE. And I guess I blame EA for this. Everyone hates EA. It's famous for being arguably the most hated company in the world. And this is a great example of why it sucks to have these big monopolies in any entertainment industry, because they have moved so far away from their grassroots origins. Now all they do is hoover up all the talented developers and creators, but unfortunately they start imposing their changes because these decisions are made by stuffy kind of tie-wearing businessmen in a boardroom who don't understand the video game or entertainment industry. So it's just a very sorry state of affairs and an example of why when certain parts of the entertainment industry explode in popularity and there's a lot of money in that particular industry, it's actually to the detriment of the industry as a whole more often than not. So Battlefield, DICE, EA, what a fucking shit show. In other news, a new Street Fighter 5 character has been revealed. So why don't you watch this with me? His name is Kage, which means shadow in Japanese. The nerds out there might know there is another Kage in another fighting game which has kind of disappeared in the last 10 years, known as Virtua Fighter, who was a ninja. And that's a very apt name for a ninja, being associated with his shadow and all. So let's watch this together. Here we go. This is Capcom's official kind of trailer launch for Kage.
Your mind is completely calm in battle. But if you continue to suppress the Hado, you will be
Got the man like Ryu Or Ryu, I should say.
Kill them all.
Uh-oh.
Kill them all.
That's evil Ryu.
I am the one true Hado.
Oh, so
Nothing.
evil Ryu is actually called Kage. Can someone correct me in the comments? Has he always been known as Kage? Because he's known as evil Ryu in the West, but maybe they're forcing his Japanese name across all regions now. Evil Ryu always comes in later iterations of the series.
Spirit of the king.
That's my man like Sagat. He was amazing in Street Fighter 4. He was a top tier character indeed. I don't really like the evil Ryu concept, to be honest, because it just makes original Ryu look a bit shit. Look how intense this Ryu is. I tell you what though, all the fighting game esports fans are going to be wetting themselves at the prospect of the beast, Daigo, what's his second name? Uehara. Whatever his second name is, he's basically the most famous fighting game player of all time. He became famous because he did this insane parry move in Street Fighter 3 against his nemesis Justin Wong, I believe. And in recent years, Daigo has faded a little bit from the scene. He has had a resurgence, but he's not as good as he used to be. And a lot of that is down to him playing as Ryu in Street Fighter 5, because Ryu really wasn't very good in Street Fighter 5. They did buff him a little bit, but he's still not all that. To the point where Daigo, this very famous fighting game player, actually changed characters and started using Guile. So it's going to be interesting to see if this character is any good, what kind of tier he's in, and if Daigo starts playing with him. Let me just get his name right, because I wouldn't want to disrespect this absolute legend. Yeah, Daigo Uehara, that's his name. Anyways, let's keep going, people. So, rumor, next Xbox console. There seems to be a rumor every fucking week about a new console because it's very clickbaity. I've seen one already from the Nintendo Switch successor, and apparently it's true. But VG Charts has this article. They say Microsoft to release 2 next-generation Xbox consoles in holiday 2020. So you got to wait 2 years for this, apparently. Microsoft is planning to release 2 next-generation Xbox consoles in holiday 2020, according to sources who spoke with Windows Central. The first next-generation console is codenamed Lockhart and will be more affordable. It will have specs similar to the Xbox One X and have refinements. The idea is similar to the Xbox One S when compared to the Xbox One. The second next-generation console is codenamed Anaconda, which is a wonderful sexual metaphor, and will be more powerful and more expensive, naturally. It will provide a cutting-edge, throbbing console gaming experience. Microsoft is looking to reduce loading times with the potential of including SSD storage, because you wouldn't want to take too long to deliver. These next-generation consoles will be compatible with everything that is currently playable on the Xbox One. This includes the original Xbox and Xbox 360 games that are backwards compatible. This should be treated as rumor until confirmed by Microsoft. I guess the interesting thing to kind of take away from this article is the backwards compatibility. So that is the norm these days, and we want to keep playing our favorite titles well into the future. There are alternatives to backwards compatibility, such as streaming and whatnot, but streaming is still a little bit iffy, is it not? Okay, on to Aquaman. If you've watched the show before, you will know that I kind of cussed this movie and said the trailer looked like shit, and I stand by that. I still don't like it. Well, Aquaman is fucking raping it at the box office. It is kicking up. Do you know how well this fucking movie is doing? And it's so weird. It's like trying to bottle lightning, making a good movie, isn't it? So you get some movies with huge budgets that flop, and some movies that are kind of shitty. The premise is shitty, the budget's not that big, and they're huge. So this falls into the latter category. Who would have thunk it? Aquaman would be kicking ass. You got films like, what was the one? It was so bad I can't even remember the name, with all the fucking DC superheroes. They're all in it together. Batman, everyone. I can't even fucking remember. God, my memory is awful. But is it Suicide Squad? I think it is Suicide Squad. Yeah. So Suicide Squad has a kind of range of loads of DC heroes and stuff, and even that wasn't really that popular at the box office, and it had Batman in. But then you got Aquaman, this, let's be honest, relatively obscure character, and he is kicking ass. You want to see these stats? let's have a look at these stats. So Wikipedia says, the day after announcing the early Amazon screenings, Aquaman's first 24-hour pre-sale totals became the highest in the history of Atom tickets, beating out Avengers Infinity War. Do you understand how major this is, right? Avengers... Yesterday, I was looking at stats for opening weekends of movies, and Avengers Infinity War has a ridiculous opening weekend. This is pre-sale totals, so it's not actually exactly the same as an opening weekend, of course, but still, any movie that beats any record held by Avengers Infinity War is doing extremely well. It's also outpaced Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, another film Amazon Prime offered early to subscribers the previous December. On Fandango, it also set the record for the number of tickets sold, beating out Venom. It's a little bit esoteric just on Fandango, so we have to hold our judgment. But still... in the United States and Canada, Aquaman will be released alongside blah, 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 and it's projected to gross around 65 million. So the figures are just trickling in. They're a little bit selective, but it is beating a few records. So we're going to have to hold our judgment for a little while yet. But it looks like Aquaman might kick ass. So, well, what can I say? I didn't like the trailer, but it looks like a lot of you like the movie. Does anyone out there like Aquaman? Has anyone seen it? Would you recommend it? What else going on? Okay, some social justice stuff. So, a Filipino woman has won the Miss Universe competition. I saw this today. It was trending on Twitter. And, okay, so I thought I'd have a look at this competition and see what I could find. And I came across this article on NBC News. In a first, transgender woman competes in Miss Universe competition. Miss Spain, 27-year-old Angela Ponce, broke barriers in the 66-year-old competition, which this year was held in Bangkok, Thailand. I just cannot fucking understand this, right? I cannot fucking understand this. So this person is not a woman. It's a man who thinks it's a woman and is allowed to compete in a woman's beauty competition because feelings. Please explain to me how this fucking works. Social justice warriors have hijacked the whole transgender thing because it's just a good way to use people who criticize this, and rightly so. In a lot of cases, they use transgenders to criticize conservatives or people on the right wing or anyone who doesn't believe in their weird kind of liberal ideology. So liberals pretend that they love transgenders and stick up for them, but really they just use them. They use them and exploit them to push their political message. And this is what you're seeing here on this left-wing site, NBC News. Explain this to me. Please explain this to me, why this makes any sense. Okay, let's say, in my mind, I think I'm a kid. I think I'm 10 years old. I really believe it, and I feel really uncomfortable about it. Am I going to campaign to compete in the kids' egg and fucking spoon race? Because if I get my way, I'm going to destroy all those kids, and I'm going to beat everyone. It doesn't make any sense. I'm not a kid, so I shouldn't be in a kids' competition. This person is not a woman. Just because she thinks she's a woman, just because feelings doesn't mean he is a woman. So why should he be allowed to compete in this competition? And this is all about beauty, right? Female beauty. This is a guy. It's a fucking guy. So why are we letting a guy into a competition that's judged on female beauty? Please explain this to me. See, the side angle, this geezer kind of looks like a woman. See? But from the side angle, anyone can look good from a side angle. Look at my side angle. I look like a fucking model. Look at that. My amazing side profile, but straight on, you can see all the beatings and punches I've taken in my life. So the real sign of beauty is from straight on, because it's all about symmetry, right? The side angle, anyone can get away with that. Look at people's Facebooks, Twitter, Instagram profiles. Everyone's all like this. When someone's doing this, you know they're not really that hot. And so let's have a look at the real face of the geezer in Miss Universe. It looks like a man. Look at the size of that chin. It's a guy with probably meat and 2 veg down there. I don't understand. We're looking at this for female beauty. Men love this stuff. Men, we're hardwired to be attracted to beautiful women. And you've got some geezer in the competition. What the hell? Look, it looks like a guy, for fuck's sake. Oh, but we let him in because we want to make him feel good. I mean, look, it is a nice gesture and all. Because if you are a man and you think you're a woman, you're clearly going to be going through a lot of distress. So, hey, you know, I support transgenders, you know. If you feel that way, I don't want you to turn back or whatever. You can have all the support you need, and I support you in that. But don't try to come into the competition, because that's just really, really selfish. That's like imposing yourself on something else that has a tradition and a culture, and you're breaking it. I don't see the point of it. What if I think I'm Japanese? I really think I'm Japanese. Is Japan going to give me a visa so I can stay in this country? No, I have to stay here 10 fucking years so I can get a permanent visa. But no, my feelings, I really feel I'm Japanese. It's giving me emotional distress. Okay, here you go, have a visa. You see how this works? These things are so open to abuse. I don't understand this shit. But really, this is just trolling from the liberal media. In lighter-hearted news from today, I'm going to show you a Michelin-starred ramen that you can enjoy if you come to Japan. This news is on Sora News 24, which is a great news source for very kind of not, I can't think of the right vocab right now, but not heavy, light news, politically free. Yeah. So here it is. They say a visit to the back alley Tokyo ramen restaurant listed in the Michelin Dining Guide. Now, I did research this a little bit, and it's not in the Michelin Guide anymore. It's lost its stars, but it's got it 2 years in the last 5 years. So, amazing ramen that's well worth stepping off the main road for, says Sora News 24. With a publication as big and prestigious as the Michelin Dining Guide, the article says, you might think its evaluators only look at the city's most famous or heavily marketed restaurants. Recently, though, Michelin's Tokyo edition guided us to a hidden backstreet eatery we don't think we'd ever have found on our own, called Burari. The ramen restaurant is located not far from Nippori Station, one of the sleepiest stops on Tokyo's Yamanote Loop line. Yamanote line is the most popular train loop in Japan, really convenient place. I live right next to it. You will take it if you come to Japan, or you will have taken it if you have been here before in Tokyo. And as the article says, you probably wouldn't expect there to be a Michelin-starred restaurant off the beaten track. But in Japan, there's loads of amazing shit off the beaten track. It's one of the reasons I love this city. It's really interesting. There's secrets and mysteries round every corner. It's not the kind of place, the article says, you're likely to stumble across unless you're looking for it, because the entrance is at the end of a long, narrow, dead-end alley with a tanuki statue standing out in front. We covered tanuki on a previous Johnny Massacre show. I'm going to zoom in on the tanuki. There it is. It's actually not a raccoon. I think it's a raccoon dog, I think it's a raccoon dog, whatever the fuck that is. And those things have a ridiculously long cultural relevance in Japan, and I believe some of it stems from China, which has like a 3,000-year history. There's so much information on this stupid fucking plastic dog you see outside various eating establishments and bars and stuff that I couldn't possibly go into it without dedicating the whole Johnny Massacre show to this motherfucker. Anyways, look out for the raccoon dog, also known as the tanuki, which is the suit that Mario wore in some Mario games if you're looking for the Burari ramen. So I guess you want to see what this motherfucker looks like. Here's the ramen machine, kind of inconspicuous, doesn't look very special. Here is the advertising inside the restaurant, proudly displaying its Michelin qualification in 2015 and 2016. What went wrong in 2017, motherfuckers? Get it right. And here is the ramen in question. Looks delicious, very milky. That is not so common for ramen. Usually the broth is a little bit more clear. But there it is, up close and personal. That does look tasty, doesn't it? You've got the Hanjuku tamago. Tamago means egg in Japanese. Hanjuku means half-boiled, soft-boiled. Hanjuku tamago inside the ramen. Delicious. Many different ways of eating it. Eat it whole, cut it in half, mix in the yolk with your ramen. My mouth is watering. So the article says it turned out to be as flavorful as it looked, with rich chicken broth washing over our taste buds as we sipped a spoonful. But as strong as the flavor was, there was still something refreshing about it. Maybe it's because chicken broth is lighter than the pork stock of the more common tonkotsu ramen. But in any case, Burari's torisayu broth never saturated our tongue, allowing us to enjoy it from start to finish. There's a piece of the fatty meat that comes as standard with most ramen. And yeah, tonkotsu is the pork bone broth, which seems to be the most popular. Everyone talks about it. But I can confirm the most popular ramen in Japan is soy sauce ramen, aka shoyu. That's in much... Oh, God. Let me rewind, come again, select. That's enough bullshit about world news. Now let's talk about my life. stuttering my way through the Johnny Massacre show. I took far too many stimulants when I was a teenager while my brain was still growing. And so now I am on the verge of contracting Alzheimer's. But until that day, you're going to get the Johnny Massacre show Monday to Friday, people. So what's going on in my life? Have you ever seen this shit? These are kind of amazing. This is called Square. Check it out on your phone. Download the Square app. In this, you can swipe your credit card. Oh, shit. Like this. And when it's attached to your iPhone, then you can charge motherfuckers when they swipe their credit card, which is amazing. It also has a section for the chip in there. So I thought this was amazing. Now anyone can become a vendor with Square technology. You have to buy this thing. It costs about 5,000 yen, which is about $50. If you don't want to pay that, you can just charge direct to your phone, but then they take more of a percent, the cheeky bastards. So I'm kind of looking forward to using this thing when I'm charging motherfuckers from around the world. In other news, I've got this weird shit from Japan. This is called FX, the V Plus edition. FX V Plus. What the fuck is this? Well, if you're regular on the show, you will have heard me say many times that I'm sorry, but I'm about to throw acid in your eyes before I read SJW social justice articles. So I've thrown so much acid in your eyes over the last year on the Johnny Massacre show. It's about time I throw some acid in my eyes to compensate, to even things out, to balance for all my OCD fans out there. So what this does is, actually I don't really know what it does, but one thing I know it does, it removes redness from your eyes. Like, look how white my fucking eyes are. That's because I put this shit in my eyes. And this is fucking amazing. If you have a 9-to-5 job, which luckily I don't, but if you do, and you're kind of concerned about your fucked up looking eyes in the morning, and you've got a meeting or you've got to have a one-on-one with someone important, get this shit from Japan. It is like a cheat. It makes your eyes come alive. And this cannot happen without a little bit of discomfort. The first time I used this, I actually thought someone had played a prank on me and I'd put nail varnish in my eyes and I blinded myself. It is fucking agonizing using this. But if you put up with it and all the tears, then all the gunk comes out of your eyes and they're like crazy fresh white. Some Japanese person told me that apparently this isn't that good for you. Surprise, surprise, because it's not natural to put this shit in your eye, of course, and it does something to the blood capillaries in your eyes. So I don't think you want to go too overboard with this shit, but it is amazing. It is a lifesaver. So I'm going to put acid in my eyes right now, and I'm going to do this live on the Johnny Massacre show. Here we go. Okay. Fuck. Oh, it's like fire in the eye. You know what? It's much, much better than it was before the Johnny Massacre show. When you do this for the first time on any particular day, it's like 3 times as bad as this. You think this looks bad? It's 3 times as bad the first time you do it. This is my second time today. So I've got tears streaming down my face now, and it feels like you've got some hardcore XXX extra strong breath mint crushed into your eyes. It is just... how could this possibly work? And you can see the bags under my eyes have suddenly come out and they look really puffy. It's like they're irritated. But as I said, give it a few minutes and oh my goodness gracious, it's like you've got new eyeballs. So this has got me wondering, the FX V Plus, maybe there's other products that are amazing for other things, like not just your eyes, but your ears and your nose and like your fucking mouth and your breath and like your fucking armpits and all kinds of shit. I'm going to have to ask my girlfriend what else there is like this out and about in these Tokyo pharmacies and shit. But yeah, this is going on in my life. I used to have this back in the day, and when I used to work a 9-to-5 job, mate, this was a lifesaver. But it's so fucking good. It's actually kind of dangerous because you can basically go with no sleep for days and still bluff your way through the day with this. But eventually you're going to crash mentally. Even though your eyes look good, unfortunately, this doesn't wake up your brain very much. But it kind of does a little bit. It perks you up. It gets you ready for action. So It's wearing off a bit, but my eyes still feel mad sensitive. But they're kind of open now. I feel alert and awake, so that's pretty cool, I guess. In other news, Equivox, a guy I collaborated with on a song called Miracle, which you can see there, he sent me another track, and yeah, I put a rap on it. He's liking it, so we're probably going to release that. So I was doing my rap yesterday. If you follow me on Instagram.com/MassacreJohnny, you can see a bit of that rap on my live story. It's very trolling and very offensive, so look out for that. I think today I'm finally pulling the trigger on my next piece of mastering gear. I really, really like Eva Manley, who created this gear, because she's so straight up and she's just wonderful. She's very helpful, always replies to customer emails, and she's straight up, man. So she gave me a bit of a bollocking. She was like, sort it fucking out, mate. I told you yesterday on my show, I'm trying to make custom filters and shit, and now I'm bothering all the Japanese techs to try to customize this gear when it comes over. She sent me a mail and said, Johnny, allow me to make a giant suggestion to you with respect. In capitals, buy the unit. In capitals, use it. In capitals, then determine whether or not you need these frequency mods that you have read somewhere that you think you need before you even use the unit. And she kind of shook me out of my inertia and just worrying I'm going to make the wrong choice, sitting on the fence perpetually kind of state of mind. I read in her manuals and also on her website, a lot of people do this. They're obsessed with the gear and obsessed with this and obsessed with that, and they never actually use it to do anything, unlike myself. But I was going into that trap. I was going down that hole, and she's pulled me out of it. She said, many times we see guys read on the internet that a frequency should be this or that. The curves of these EQs go really wide, and not just that frequency is affected. She's making a reference to me wanting to change the frequencies. Also consider that for 20 years, this unit has been in production, ! And that the frequencies are very well loved by all, and we, capitals, hardly ever get requests to alter them. So I quite like this. I hope I didn't cause her too much offense. That's like, you make some product that becomes a classic the world over, and some like jumped up cunts like, mate, can you fucking change this? It's like, what the fuck? Creators hate it when you try to fuck with their creations, but fair enough, Eva Manley. And I love the way she says she never gets requests to do this. That's how I know I'm going to be great, because I don't think like other people. I'm always trying to perfect things and trying to squeeze out that extra 5-10%. She said, after, in capitals, you've been using the unit, recording and listening with your capitals ears, then tell me whether your eyeballs are requesting a change or your ears are. Good. So she's totally got my kind of way of thinking down to a T there. You can get quite obsessed with gear. It's called gear lust, if you don't know. And that's what was happening to me. Fuck it. I'm going to pull the trigger, going to buy it today. And then if I want to change it later, I always can. So that's what's going on in my life. I've got to get out of my place now because, yeah, today's going to be a busy one. But don't worry, I will be back tomorrow on Wednesday with another edition of the Johnny Massacre Show. So if you enjoyed this episode and you got this far, make sure to smash that like button and hit the subscribe button, because that's what all those other cunts say. And other than that, I bid you farewell. I'll be seeing you tomorrow, and thanks so much again for joining me.